Shalom, children. Today we are going to start a whole new journey with the children of Israel. We will learn about the most important structure ever made called the set-apart place. This is where Yahweh said He wanted to dwell with His people. Our story begins with Moshe still at the top of Mount Sinai. Yahweh is sharing with Moshe the pattern He wants for His set-apart place, including each measurement, all the rich materials, the furniture pieces, and the purpose for each item. It's like an architect who makes blueprints for the workers to follow, and an interior designer who designs special furniture for homes. Yahweh is the master architect and designer of this project, and He is telling Moshe the exact way He wants His set-apart place to look. Later on, Moshe will carefully write down everything Yahweh told him up there and share it with the children of Israel. Yahweh told Moshe to build a wooden box about the size of a treasure chest. This box was called an ark. Yahweh said He wanted the wood to be covered in gold, inside and outside. He wanted it to have molding. This is like long, pretty strips that you can see sometimes in a house, right where the wall meets the ceiling. He wanted this on all sides of the ark. He also wanted them to make gold rings, big ones that you could slide a pole into. He wanted the rings by each corner of the ark, with the poles made out of the same wood, and then covered in gold. The poles would be used to carry the ark. Yahweh wanted the tablets He wrote on to be placed inside the ark and a lid put on the top. This lid would be called the Lid of Atonement. He said, "Make it out of clean gold to fit on top of the ark." Yahweh also wanted 2 golden cherubim to go on top of the lid. Do you know what cherubim are? The scriptures say that cherubim are heavenly beings who worship Elohim on His throne. Yahweh told them to make the cherubim face each other, with their wings covering the lid, and their faces turned downwards. He said that after it was built, Yahweh would talk with Moshe from the top of the Lid of Atonement. Next, Yahweh told Moshe how to build a special table from acacia wood, covered in gold. It was to hold the showbread, where 12 loaves of bread, representing the 12 tribes of Israel, would sit. Now the table was not as big as the ark, but it was just as tall. The table was also to have molding, and a rim as well, and a ring on each corner by the legs, to hold its own poles, just like the ark. They also needed to make ladles, jars and dishes and bowls. Yahweh also wanted a lampstand with 7 branches. Many people have a menorah in their house to remind them of the lampstand. Perhaps you have one. This lampstand was to be made exactly the way Yahweh said, with almond flower-shaped oil holders and knobs where the branches came out. It was to be made from 1 piece of pure gold. Yahweh also told Moshe that He wanted the children of Israel to bring the olive oil to keep this lampstand lit all the time. The last furniture piece that Yahweh gave Moshe instruction for was the altar of incense. This piece was also shaped like a shoebox, but standing up. It was to be made of acacia wood and gold overlay on its top and its sides all around. Just like the ark, it was to have 4 gold rings on its sides and 2 poles that went into the rings, so that when the altar of incense had to be moved, it was easier to lift and carry. It was to have something different on it from the other furniture pieces. 4 horns, on its 4 corners. Yahweh then told Moshe just how to make the home where he wanted these pieces to go. He began with the way he wanted his dwelling place to be covered. The wilderness is a harsh place, so he chose 4 layers of different material for the tent's roof. Today, curtains in our houses are made in factories on machines. But back then, you had to be very talented at hand weaving these fabrics on a wooden loom. For the first layer, Yahweh wanted beautiful curtains to be made by skilled weavers. The panels were to be made of woven linen, plus material in 3 royal colors: red, blue, and purple. Yahweh also wanted cherubim to be embroidered onto the linen on the first curtain. The next layer of covering was to be made of goat's hair, which can be spun into yarn and woven just like wool. The third covering was made of ram skin, which had been dyed red. Have you ever snuggled up on a sheepskin rug? Wool has special oil in it called lanolin, which would be perfect for helping to keep out the rain and the dew. Finally, the 4th covering was placed on top. It would have to be long-lasting to protect the dwelling place from the harsh wilderness. So Yahweh chose to have it made of fine leather, possibly cowhide, which is very tough. The covering would rest on wooden boards cut from acacia wood, which is a small, gnarly tree that grew all over the wilderness. Acacia wood is so hard that it cannot be attacked by insects. Each board was designed to form a single wall, and all of the wall was to be overlaid with thin sheets of pure gold. So whether you were looking from the outside or the inside, you would see gleaming golden walls set in silver sockets. Do you remember the first covering that went over the top? It was the one that was woven with 3 royal colors, showing figures of cherubim. Well, every time the priests lifted their eyes, they would see that ceiling made of colorful woven material, showing heavenly beings. Yahweh wanted 2 hanging veils for the dwelling place. The inner veil was to be made of fine woven linen in the 3 royal colors: red, blue, and purple. Can you guess what was embroidered onto this veil? That's right, cherubim. The beautiful inner veil was meant to form a divider to separate the set-apart place from the most holy place. Once a year, the high priest would be allowed into the most holy place on the Day of Atonement. The most set-apart place was to be perfectly square, and behind its veil they were to place the gold-covered ark with its lid of atonement. Inside the ark, Moshe was to place those stone tablets that Yahweh would give him on the mountain. Can you imagine all the excitement in making all of these special pieces for Yahweh's dwelling place? What a wonderful thing to know that the Mighty One of Israel was going to be living right there with his people. Moshe hasn't received all the blueprints yet. Yahweh was to tell him about a special fence to go around his dwelling place. But that will have to wait, because we have come to the end of our story for today. So we will see you next time for another exciting Torah portion. Shalom.